Hello and welcome to my FreeNAS Mini build. First off, let's just go over the components that we're working with here, and then we'll actually get into the build. First off, the processor. I chose the AMD A4, as you can see right there. I purchased that from Amazon.com. It was like $39.99. I chose it just because it was really cheap. It does have some graphics capabilities in case I want to play videos off this server, and it's fairly powerful. We don't need anything too powerful though for our server. Next up, the case we got here. It's the Coolmaster Elite 120. Picked that up from Newegg.com, and you can find it on there. I think I paid like around $70 for it. It fluctuates as it goes on and off of sale. Next up, we got the motherboard, arguably the most important part of any build. This is the ASRock A75M. It's an ITX motherboard. The Coolmaster case is an ITX case. I just wanted to do ITX because of the small form factor. I didn't want to have the server taking up too much space. Then here we have some G.SKILL 8 GB of RAM. It's only one stick. The motherboard comes with 2 slots of RAM, so if I wanted to, I could upgrade to 16 or even more RAM, but I think 8 GB should do the trick for right now. For the power supply, I got a Diablotek 350 watt power supply. It's the PhD 350. The great thing about this Coolmaster case is it supports a full ATX power supply, so you can use just about any power supply with it. You can even pick one out of your old machines and throw it in there, and it should work fine for you. Then right here, just have some SATA 3 cables to hook up to my drives. As far as storage goes, I chose the Western Digital Red. I have 2 1 TB drives right here that are going into the server. Those are going to provide storage. I'm going to do them in a RAID configuration, probably parallel, or possibly RAID 5 if I have another drive. This drive right here, as you can see, is already mounted in the housing for the case. This is an OCZ, just a 80 GB SSD here. This is going to be for the operating system. I'm planning to run Windows 8 64-bit and then run FreeNAS as a virtual machine on there. So now that we got the components all laid out, let's get down to the build. Alright, so now we're going to install the CPU. We lifted up the socket layer, and now what we're supposed to do is match this little golden triangle here to the little triangle on the motherboard socket. Be very careful when doing this. Make sure to destatic yourself. Touch as little of the processor as possible. This is the most freaky part of any build. Okay, so now that that's seated in there, we're just gonna snap it down, and it's locked in. There we go. Now, the second scariest part of any build, installing the heat sink and fan. Alright, so I'm assuming sometimes it says that you need to install thermal paste, however there's already thermal paste on the heat sink. So we're just gonna line this up like so. You just want to do it on the first try, which is much easier said than done. And both sides appear to be locked in. And now all you need to do is push down on the lever. Or sorry, push up to lock it in. And it's locked in. Heatsink is seated on the processor. And we are looking good. Hardest part of the build is now done. Gonna hit F2 to run the setup. Alright, so it sees my processor, sees caches, it sees that I have the 8 gigabytes of memory installed there. Here you can do overclocking. Like configure north and south bridge, you can configure USB. Here we have a hardware monitor, fan speeds. Here we can set boot priorities, and looks like if you want to put a BIOS password down, you can. other than that, what we're gonna do is change the boot. So as you can see, I finally got it to install, and we're working on installing Windows 8 64-bit. Once that's up and running, I'm going to install FreeNAS as a virtual machine, and then get configuring and get my shares up and running. And then once that's all done, I'll import the data from my old server.